I'd say the first great place to start is just to ask yourself when you're going through that type of planning, how does this align with the people in my organization? What is the people strategy there? So we could take the word HR out of it. Most businesses, I mean, there are some I'm guessing that are out there that don't need human beings. And all the objectives that you want to do in all the other departments have to do with human beings. And so you want to make sure, okay, what do we need to do from the people strategy to support all of those? And then what do we support the people that are executing those as well in order to create a happy, healthy workforce that can be flexible and can move with what the organization needs?
Welcome to the New Talent Playbook Podcast, your go-to resource for building exceptional teams and thriving businesses. Each episode delivers actionable insights on harnessing offshore talent, integrating innovative technology, cultivating a vibrant company culture, and attracting and retaining top performers. Subscribe now to never miss an episode. For more resources, visit thenewtalentplaybookpodcast.com, where you can download this episode's free workbook designed to help you apply today's insight to your business. And now, here's your host, Rob Levin.
Today, I'm joined by Leilani Kire, founder and CEO of Be the Change HR, a certified women-owned social enterprise helping small and mid-sized businesses with HR compliance, strategy, and people-focused solutions. With over 20 years' experience, she's built her company on the mantra, Be the Change, pairing business expertise with a commitment to social impact, including donating 1% of top-line revenue to nonprofits supporting survivors of human trafficking and job readiness programs. Leilani, great to see you. Welcome to the show, and let's dive right in.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great to see you, Leilani. I'm going to start off with a question, which you probably get all the time, and quite frankly, I used to ask this question all the time. I hope you don't think worse of me now, but I don't think this way anymore. How do you get business owners to move from seeing HR as compliance to something that'll actually help them grow their business?
Yeah. I would say that we don't outright ask for that. It's when someone comes to you, this is any business, right? With the problem that they're having, it's like, okay, that is what they feel is their immediate need.
Right.
Now, as a company, we know part of what we do is to meet them where they're at and then also infuse strategy into everything we're doing. So when a business owner comes and says, hey, I'm having high turnover, I don't know why. It's not, let's recruit somebody for you. It's let's get to the bottom of why this is happening and figure out what the root cause is. And that's not just guessing. It's like, well, maybe we need to talk to the employees. Have you done exit interviews? Are you surveying that information? Have you surveyed the team? And so the strategy piece comes in without outright saying, hey, we're doing compliance and strategy for you. And so it becomes an education for them as they grow along with us of the multitudes that HR can do aside from making sure that your butt doesn't get sued.
Gotcha. That's right. They're coming in for that more often than not. You mentioned root cause. More often than not, what have you found is the biggest root cause of some of these problems that they may be having, like turnover and stuff like that?
More often than not, it is the leader. We hear all the time people leave companies, they leave their manager. And that's a delicate conversation and situation if it's based on that person. So I would say that is definitely top three. Then if there's the things that besides needing great managers and a safe place to work, they have needs as in like monetary needs and the benefits. And sometimes that's an issue. I'm not getting paid what I should be. I don't have the benefit package that I need. Even now in the current climate that we're in with talks about healthcare and how it's possibly not going to get better. These are things that are important to employees. So that is another one. And then the final one is having an environment, a leader, and a workplace where the person can learn and grow, whether that is strictly professionally, personally. And I would encourage in all the ways to holistically develop someone in their career.
I love this. You're speaking to the choir here, although that's me. I don't know if I can say that about everybody else. I want to come back to the learn and grow thing in a second, but let's put the root causes aside for a second. And you come in, okay, they think they have just a compliance issue. Maybe there's something with turnover, and there's usually something much bigger, literally HR strategy. Let's say they work with you and they get all of that right, okay? Which I'm sure they will. What happens? What's the upside? Why do all of these things?
It's all in support of where the business is headed. And in talking to business owners and entrepreneurs, but also talking to the employees, it's like companies exist to support a lot of different things, not just the monetary growth of a company, but the growth of the people inside. And so if we look at it from that angle, when all systems are go and you're firing on all cylinders in a great way from compliance and strategy and having amazing talent in a workforce, it allows an organization to be healthy and in a healthy state. Maybe they do want to grow year over year or expand into new markets. It just makes them more flexible, both as an organization as a whole, but also the individuals there because they're happy and they're enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah, I think business owners tend to forget that their employees, Monday through Friday on average, are spending about a third of their life in the business. And that's a meaningful part of their business. I want to come back to that in a second, but I want to just talk about this concept of having an HR strategy and putting compliance aside. I'm not saying it's not important. It's really important because nothing will ruin your day faster than an HR related lawsuit or an HR related government entity sending you a nasty gram. But putting that aside for a second, hopefully everybody understands the levity of all of that. When it comes to small and mid-sized businesses, in my experience, and I've been guilty of this in the past, they might have a marketing plan and then there's cash flows, right? So you have a finance plan, but you never hear anybody talking about an HR plan, but it's the people that are doing all the work. So what's the disconnect and how do you get people over that? How do you get business owners over that thing? Like, I don't need, what do you mean an HR plan? I hire people and they work for me and I pay them.
Right. Right now is a great time to think about that because most businesses, if they haven't done it already, are in strategic planning for the next year. And so for any business owner, I'd say the first great place to start is just to ask yourself when you're going through that type of planning, how does this align with the people in my organization? What is the people strategy there? So we could take the word HR out of it. Most businesses, I mean, there are some I'm guessing that are out there that don't need humans, need human beings. And all the objectives that you want to do in all the other departments have to do with human beings. And so you want to make sure, okay, what do we need to do from the people strategy to support all of those? And then what do we support the people that are executing those as well in order to create a happy, healthy workforce that can be flexible and can move with what the organization needs?
That was amazingly stated. Thank you for that.
The reviews are in, and leaders are calling Rob Levin's new book a game changer. The New Talent Playbook, the ultimate guide to building your dream team, is now available. And it's your roadmap to winning the war for talent and scaling with total confidence. Don't just take our word for it. Get your copy today and see why it's a must-read for every SMB leader. Learn more at thenewtalentplaybook.com.
Let's come back to this concept of helping your team learn and grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that important?
I mean, if I go heart-centered, it shows that you care about that person. Now, I would be one, and I'm always championing. It's not just someone's career that you want to support. You want to support them personally as well. Most companies have some type of core value developed. Those core values, hopefully, are hiring people to those core values and they hold them dear. And so there's ways of, in the organization, of course, you're going to track performance, and depending on what they do, you'll have KPIs for that. But also, I would encourage individuals who are doing performance reviews or setting them up, or if you're in human resources, to dedicate a section to core values from a personal standpoint. Say you're a health company, you're going to have a core value that has to do with health. How does that translate to the individual? Can they make a goal every quarter to do one small thing that's in support of their health? Again, it's like company aligned, brand aligned, but also something to help keep someone accountable on a personal level, show them that you care and truly care about them. And then it weaves into, I'm here as your leader, as a business, not only to support you in your career and be successful here and if and when you ever leave here, but also I care about what you do personally as well. And I want to help out in a way that I can.
Yeah, really well stated. And I want to add to that one of the things I talk about, I'd love to get your take on this, is,
Mhm.
and you know this as a business owner, the pace of change in business is going so fast with AI, and laws are changing, and marketing has changed dramatically over the past 3 to 5 years. Businesses need new capabilities all the time just to keep up with change. So,
Mhm.
what a great pairing on the learning and growth side. If you can, let's say, pay for training or upskill your existing employees to acquire some of those capabilities that you need as a company, that's a win all around, right? Because
Mhm.
you're winning because you're getting those capabilities. Once you get those, your people are learning because they help you bring the capabilities in. You're giving them growth opportunities. And then, by the
Yeah.
way, I'm sure, I would imagine you've seen similar statistics. When you have internal mobility in a company, surprise, surprise, tenure goes up like 50 or 60%.
Yeah, you save money on turnover, you experience more profitability. It's good for business. And I like to take the angle, if you just do the right thing, then it will be good for business and taking care of employees. And again, when you talk about strategic planning and you say, okay, next year we need to be more nimble, we need to figure out this AI thing, we need to be more innovative. Guess who's going to do that? So you can weave that into how do we go to our people? What kind of programs do we put in place in order to encourage them to go out to seek that information, to learn more? It'll also benefit them, but also to bring these different ideas back, maybe in a think tank, depending on how you want to put it in your company, and help in this initiative in order to be more nimble in the market.
Makes a lot of sense. Leilani, you've been doing this for a little while, 20 years or so. If any, what shifts have you seen? What recent developments have you seen when it comes to leading and managing an organization full of people? If you think back, maybe even since the pandemic.
Even before that. So I'm a Gen Xer. I cusp on millennial. I'm not quite millennial, but I'm close. And I started my career when it was called personnel department. And I started when it was just compliance,
Wow.
right? Yeah, it's been a minute. Don't let my face fool you. I've been in the game for a while. And it's grown. So the biggest shift that I've seen is that it is no longer, I gave you a job, do your job, and insert what else you want to put after that.
Right.
Now it's grown to, we need to support the human in the job. And even the newer generation, there's a whole other host of complexities that leans towards taking care of the person individually. So that's the biggest thing. It's like you can't just think people are going to be happy. And I don't care what's happening with the economy or the environment. You just can't expect people to be like, I gave you a job, just do it. Because
Right.
it doesn't work.
Do you remember that? Oh, yeah, they should be happy they have a job.
I heard that at the beginning of the pandemic from people that we worked with, some of our clients. And I would kindly tell them they might not leave today or tomorrow because they feel that job market insecurity. But mark my words, the minute that the market changes, and it will, they're out as fast as they can with no loyalty and maybe a couple lawsuits to boot.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's say somebody's listening or watching and they've heard you and I, particularly you, talk about how the game has changed, the importance of appreciating the human, creating an environment where somebody can learn and grow, core values.
Mhm.
What's like the first one or two steps that somebody should take saying, hey, you know what? It's sunk in. I get this. Now, how do I go forward?
I'm always going to go back to core values. And I'm going to go back to the core values on the front end before you even hire someone. And I think this can be a fun exercise. First of all, make sure that your core values are your actual core values, and then utilize it in your recruiting process to make sure that the people you bring on board are value aligned. Again, if I use like the health food example, it's like, how does health and wellness show up in your life? And you get to know someone in the recruiting process that can talk about it. So that piece of like, how do we ask yourself this in everything you do with your people? Is this core value aligned? Are we hitting on all of our core values? Which one we're missing? For example, be the change. One of our core values is fun. That's sometimes a hard one to weave in every once in a
Right.
while. And it's like, so are we hitting on them this year? Have we done a day together where we're focusing just on that core value? Does fun show up in the job that this individual, that the HR pros are doing? And so it's just having fun with it. This sounds so serious, and it really is, right? We're scaling and growing businesses. We're trying to keep our business, we're trying to keep them alive. But also, I want people that hear this to go away with, you can have some fun with it too, in ways that will support your business and show your people that you care, and you can be a little creative.
spoiler alert for everybody. I hope you heard what Leilani just said, but fun and productivity are not mutually exclusive. They do work together quite well, right?
Yeah.
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 Leilani, Be the Change HR gives 1% of its revenue to not-for-profits that
Mm-hmm.
support survivors of human trafficking and helps with job readiness programs, et cetera. How has
Yeah.
that either created and or impacted the culture at your company at Be the Change HR?
Yeah. I mean, talk about having employees who have a purpose and a mission alongside the company. I gave those three examples. This is in the third one, helping someone learn and grow, but also like part of their purpose. It's really been impactful because our company isn't just about HR and about serving clients in HR. It's also the work that we do helps change our circle of influence, specifically with survivors of sex trafficking. And that's huge. People and candidates have been attracted to the company based on the mission. That's one of the first things I hear is, oh, I really love your mission. I really love what you're doing. Tell me more about that. And how do I get involved? And then when they work here, they get
Wow.
involved. And so it's huge. To date, we've helped hundreds of survivors of trafficking. My BHAG, for any of you who know what that means, is to hit 1,000 survivors per year and really make an impact in that area.
Wow, that's a great goal. And just for everybody knows at home, BHAG is big, hairy, audacious goal, and I hope everybody has one. It just makes business and life a lot more fun. Leilani, thank you for sharing all of these awesome insights with me and with our audience. Where can people find out more about you and Be the Change HR?
You can find me on LinkedIn. Please connect with me. You can read how to spell my name in the description, Leilani Curet. And then at Be the Change HR on all platforms. I do a fun tea with Leilani every week. So make sure you follow us either on LinkedIn or Instagram.
Awesome. Leilani, thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening. The New Talent Playbook podcast is brought to you by Work Better Now. Don't forget to review, subscribe, and download the workbook for this episode at the link below. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on LinkedIn at the New Talent Playbook Podcast or visit thenewtalentplaybookpodcast.com.